Today I've got another reaction to Poland, and this one is the top 10 places to visit in Poland. If you're from Poland, tell me what your favourite part of the country is. Tell me where you're from and what it's like there. But tell me where you like to travel to within Poland. Where's the most beautiful place in Poland? Really can't wait to see this. I mean, this opening shot here is absolutely stunning, so can't wait to watch this video. Let's check it out.
Guys, my name is Ryan and I want to show you some of my favorite places in the enchanting country of Poland. So here is my Polish top 10. Poland is home to some of the world's most stunning landscapes.
Whoa.
From the medieval old town of Gdansk to the towering Tatra Mountains, Poland has so much to offer. Let's start this video off at the impressive city of Krakow. Now this may be...
Yeah, so just already from those initial shots we can see that the towns, the cities themselves look like they have so much history, some beautiful architecture, but the nature looks stunning, some beautiful mountains. Tell me what you think about this.
One of my favorite cities in all of Poland. Located in the southern part of the country, Krakow was founded all the way back in the 7th century, so you best believe it's full of beautiful history and architecture. Now one of the most impressive sites is the Warsaw Royal Castle. It was built during the 14th century and was the first UNESCO World Heritage Site. It features architectural styles from the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods. Now from the castle you can make the short 10-minute walk to the main square. This dates all the way back to the 13th century and it was the largest medieval town squares in all of Europe, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it's just fascinating to think of all the history that took place here. Now in the corner of the square is the St. Mary's Basilica, which was built back in the 14th century, and it's a perfect example of Polish Gothic architecture. Another interesting feature of Krakow is the Kosciuszko Mound. It's an artificial hill that was modeled after other prehistoric mounds in the city. It was built in 1823 to commemorate the national hero named Tadeusz Kosciuszko. The mound is 112 feet high and there's a serpentine path that takes you to the top to enjoy the panoramic views of Krakow and the Vistula River. Krakow is just such an amazing city and I hope you all can visit. After Krakow,
yeah, that's a great start so far. So again, I really have no real knowledge of how the cities and towns of Poland look. There, it looks like that history has been so well preserved. Those buildings, the architecture looks stunning. I love that square with the basilica at the side of it. If you're from Krakow, tell me what it's like to actually live there. Do you really appreciate the beauty of the city? This Tatras.
We're going to head to the Tatra Mountains. Now located about a 2 hours drive from Krakow, the Tatras are a stunning mountain range that straddles the Polish and Slovakian border. Now the best town to access the Tatras is Zakopane, now located right at the base of the mountains. Zakopane is the perfect starting place for your mountain adventures. During the winter time, Zakopane is an ideal place to go skiing, and in the summer months, it's a prime place to start your hike into the mountains. One of the most impressive spots in the Tatras is the Morskie Oko Lake.
Look at that, man. That is absolutely mind-blowing. I never knew Poland had this sort of landscape.
You can make the 16-kilometer round-trip trek to the scenic lake. I mean, just such a phenomenal view up there. An interesting fact is that the Tatras are the smallest alpine mountain range in all of Europe, and they're home to plenty of wildlife such as the Eurasian brown bear. I just love how the Tatras look. They have such a unique and jagged look to them, and I just want to go hiking them this summer. Now if you're into World War II history, you can visit the Memorial of Auschwitz concentration camps. This is located about an hour's drive from Krakow. Now Auschwitz is infamously known to be one of the most horrific Nazi concentration camps. Over 1.1 million people died here. One of my favorite books I've ever read is called The Auschwitz Escape, and it tells the story of how 2 prisoners made their daring escape from this concentration camp. Now after, we're going to head to the northern part of Poland to visit Sopot. Now located right on the Baltic Sea, Sopot was established in the 8th century and grew as a commercial trading post and fishing village. Over the centuries, Sopot faced adversity as it was abandoned burned and then rebuilt, but in the early 19th century, Sopot started to gain popularity thanks to its spa and public baths, and it quickly became a holiday resort town. Today, Sopot is a thriving tourist attraction, where there you can take a walk on Europe's longest wooden pier, or you can enjoy the swans and endless sandy coastline. Now I understand why it's called the Polish Riviera. Now after Sopot...
So tell me, that was 3 very interesting places there that I can imagine that if you're from Poland, there would maybe be places that you might go on holiday. We had the mountains and those beautiful landscapes that would be great for hiking, camping and things like that. We had Auschwitz, which is very interesting for the history, as they mentioned there, if you've got that interest in history and stuff like that. And then you have that town there, which is coastal. You have the big, beautiful beach. Tell me, if you're from Poland, are these places you've visited? Is it places that Polish people go on holiday?
Sopot, we're going to head over to neighboring Gdansk. Located just a 15-minute drive from Sopot, Gdansk is one of Poland's oldest cities with a fascinating history with periods of Polish, Prussian, and German rule. The earliest mention of Gdansk was in the year 997 AD, and during the Middle Ages, Gdansk grew as an important seaport and shipbuilding town. It rose to be one of the wealthiest and largest cities in Poland until Warsaw's rapid growth in the 18th century. Today, Gdansk is one of Poland's most beautiful cities. I mean, I just can't believe it's old town. It's full of these perfectly placed houses that seem to go on forever. Another really cool feature that I like about Gdansk is how the canal runs right along the old town. It's often full of ships, and it gives the city such a fun vibe. While you're there, you can just explore the streets of Old Town or take a walk along the canal. I mean, just such an incredible city. Now, just an hour...
Yeah, so already we've seen Krakow and Gdansk, and they have very similar architecture. Actually, I never really knew much about Polish architecture and how the buildings looked. You can see these ones that don't really have much modern buildings. It seems like they really appreciate the older, more traditional style of buildings, whereas places like where I'm from in Scotland, in the main cities, they seem to like tear down these traditional buildings, which I really dislike. I prefer to keep these older buildings and keep that heart and personality. These are beautiful cities so far.
First drive from Gdansk is the Malbork Castle. I mean, this is the largest castle in the world by land area, which is pretty crazy. It was built in the 13th century by the Teutonic Knights, who were German Catholic crusaders. And as the number of the knights grew, so did the castle, which encloses an area of 52 acres. I mean, it's just crazy to think that people were able to build such buildings back then. More than half of Malbork Castle was destroyed during World War II, but thankfully it was rebuilt to its former glory. Now after Malbork,
Nice.
we're going to head over to the Masurian Lake District, located in northeastern Poland on the border of Kaliningrad. This lake district is one of the most visited lake districts in all of Central Europe, and it's home to over 2,000 lakes. It's a perfect place to go sailing, fishing, or just swim in the lake. I mean, I just can't think of a better place to go on a hot summer day. Now, aside from the lakes,
Tell me
the
if you've
area
been
is
there
full
before.
of beautiful forest, perfect for hiking and exploring. The Masurian Lake District is definitely a hidden gem that deserves a visit. Another scenic
Beautiful.
place for nature lovers is the Pieniny National Park. Now located in both southern Poland and northern Slovakia, Pieniny is one of the oldest and smallest national parks in all of Poland. I mean, I just think it's such a beautiful area. The river runs right through it, and it acts as a natural border between Poland and Slovakia. The national park is home to many animal species such as the Eurasian lynx, which I think is like one of the coolest animals ever. One of my favorite features of the park is the Three Crowns. The rock feature is made up of 5 sharp limestone peaks that create quite the sight. Now another beautiful nearby...
Yeah, I've heard of people from my friends and things going to Poland, but it's usually to the cities. I never really knew about the actual nature and the landscapes in these like national parks, the Lake District. I feel like if I went to Poland, of course I'd love to visit the cities, but I'm very intrigued and I would love to visit those parts of nature and those places also.
My spot is the Niedzica Castle.
Never
This
knew there was so
14th
many
century
castles
castle
too.
is located just a few minutes away from the park. I mean, this whole area is just incredible. Now after, we're going to head over to the beautiful city of Wrocław. I mean, it's such a tricky pronunciation. Now located in western Poland, about a 3-hour drive from Krakow, Wrocław is such a charming historical place. It's home to one of the most beautiful market squares in all of Europe. It's lined with elegant townhouses and cobblestone streets. Wrocław also has one of the most beautiful cathedrals in Poland. It was originally built in 1272, but has been damaged and rebuilt several times throughout the centuries. I just love its double spires. Wrocław is just the perfect place to just walk around and explore for a day. Now for our final destination, we're going to head to Warsaw. Located on the Vistula River in east central Poland, Warsaw is the capital and largest city in the country. Warsaw began to grow in the 16th century when the capital was moved there. It was called the Paris of the North, but sadly, Warsaw was damaged extensively during World War II, with over 85% of its buildings in ruins. Thankfully, today it's a bustling capital with a population of 1.8 million. One of my favorite buildings of the city is the Palace of Culture and Science at 778 feet tall. It's the 5th tallest building in the EU. The crowning feature of the city is Warsaw's Old Town. It was established during the 13th century and is full of history and medieval architecture. Like the main part of the city, the Old Town was almost completely destroyed during World War II, but it was miraculously restored and was made a World Heritage Site in 1980. When you're there, you can just explore the square and marvel at all the history that took place in this medieval old town. Well, that is it for my Poland top 10. Let me know where your favorite place is in Poland in the comments.
Yeah, so tell me what your favourite, as I mentioned, what your favourite place in Poland is. To see Warsaw, that was very interesting as well, because I mentioned I love those old traditional buildings and the architecture, but to see how that has kept that part of it, but also having the modern architecture as well, it was really cool to see how that blended together, and it makes it a very unique city. But so much beautiful places in Poland, of all different types of places as well, going from the nature to the cities. It looks like a fantastic and really beautiful place, a very underrated country, and yeah, I can't wait to learn more. So tell me more about it. What's your favourite part of Poland? Thanks for watching.